The laugh came first, sharp, confident, the kind of laugh that belonged to someone who had never worried about rent or groceries or tomorrow. "All right," the man said, leaning back in his leather booth, eyes gleaming with amusement. "You're a waitress, right? Tell me, how should I invest my money?" The diner went quiet in that strange way it does when tension sneaks in uninvited. The man was Daniel Cross, a billionaire. His face appeared on business magazines, his name attached to skyscrapers. People usually asked him for advice, not the other way around. This question wasn't curiosity, it was entertainment. Across from him stood a young waitress named Lily, her apron faded, her hands still warm from coffee cups. She'd heard jokes like this before. Usually she smiled politely and walked away, but this time she didn't. She looked at him, not angry, just calm, and her first words stopped him cold. "Before I tell you where to put your money," she said softly, "can I ask where you lost your piece?" The smile slipped from his face. Around them, forks paused midair. His friend shifted uncomfortably. No one laughed. Daniel blinked. "Excuse me." Lily didn't raise her voice. She didn't sound clever or rehearsed. She sounded human. People who are satisfied don't ask strangers for answers they already have. She continued, "So I figured. The question isn't about money." For the first time in years, Daniel didn't know what to say. He had built an empire by always having the upper hand, by controlling rooms, by winning conversations. Yet here he was, exposed by a woman who refilled water glasses for a living. He waved his friends off. "Go ahead," he said quietly. "I'm listening." Lily hesitated, then spoke. "My dad used to say money is like a loud roommate. It makes noise, demands attention, but it can't love you back. He worked himself sick chasing it. Died before he learned how to rest." Daniel felt something tighten in his chest. She went on, "If you want advice, invest in something that lets you sleep at night. Something that still matters when the market crashes. That's where real returns come from." Silence. Daniel stared at his untouched food. In his mind, numbers dissolved into memories. Missed birthdays, empty homes, conversations he'd postponed for later. That night he didn't sleep. Days passed, then weeks. One afternoon, Lily was called into her manager's office. A man in a tailored suit stood by the window. Daniel Cross turned around. He wasn't smiling this time. "I sold one of my companies," he said. "Not because I needed to, but because I didn't need to anymore." She frowned, confused. "I started a foundation." He continued, "Quiet loans, no interest, for people who work hard but never get a chance. I want you to help run it." Lily shook her head. "I'm not qualified." Daniel smiled gently. "That's what makes you perfect." The foundation changed lives, so did Daniel. He started eating at the diner again, not for attention, not for jokes, but for conversation. For connection, for grounding, and Lily, she never stopped being kind. She just learned how far kindness could reach. Because sometimes the smartest advice doesn't come from a boardroom. It comes from someone who serves coffee and sees people. And that's the kind of wealth that never loses its value.